Oh, hi neighbor. Thank you so very much for tuning into this series. I hope that you all have been enjoying it so far. In today's episode, we are going to go over spiritual warfare. Welcome back to episode 4.
Hey y'all, not on day 1. Clean it up, but not on day 1, y'all. Get the rest of that up. So this is the next morning with it dry. I mean, it's not as bad. Certainly noticeable. So let's see if I can get it up some more. I watched a YouTube video that said you can get up red dye with damp cloths and a steam iron. So I went and bought some white cloths and a steam iron. Let's see. Alright, so I would say it is working. It looks so much better than what it once did. It is a little light, so let me see. Maybe if I do it like this, maybe a better color. It's not as bad as it once was. It is a bit light though. You can still see it a bit, just a little bit, but that's only if I know what I'm looking for, you know? It's a little light compared to the rest of the carpet. Carpet looks so much better than what it once did. I feel like if I would have did this first and then after like blotting up as much as I could, then I feel like it would probably look even better, but honestly, I can't complain too bad with how it's looking. I feel like with my natural eye, I can still see it faintly. And then of course on the camera, you can see that the carpet is still a little lighter, but y'all, this looks so much better than what it once did. So I'm not going to stress over it no more. So in the kitchen right now, making spaghetti for dinner. I made a post pretty much like congratulating myself for all of the hard work I've been doing so far and lately over this past year with raising them, and I'll insert the clip here. So as you can see on that post there, pretty much a post about myself, just being proud of myself for doing what I've been doing this past year. And the children's aunt came on their paternal side. Basically, I had to close the door because the kids are opening and closing pots and pans in the kitchen. And with me cooking and also trying to talk to you all, there's just too much going on. So, anywho, aunt came on and basically was like, I can talk about my small wins without having to indirectly mention her brother, because I received financial gifts from their side of the family. Now, I could understand if I said something along the lines of like, I do it all by myself. I could understand if I called somebody a deadbeat. But nothing I stated up there was a lie, because I do not receive child support, I do not get help from the government, and I do not have a sugar daddy. As far as gifts, I do not receive monetary gifts. I didn't start receiving money until January of this year from their dad, and it's in the amount of $108 a month. And it was because I had calculated how much money I'm cutting bell peppers, y'all. So I do apologize that I'm not looking directly at you. But anywho, I had calculated how much money I had spent last year on food that only my daughter eats, and you know, the little Gerber baby snacks for the boys. So the total I provided did not include fruits, vegetables, meat, bread, grains, rice, things like that, because that is something that I also eat. So it was, in my mind, it was like, how can I send you a full total if I'm also benefiting from it? So it was literally just what I had spent on the kids only, that I do not eat whatsoever. So he took that number, divided it by 12, and got 108 from it. So that's where that comes from. As far as gifts go, his mom does a wonderful job of buying the children clothes. His older sister had newborn to like 9-month-old clothes, I want to say, because she has 2 boys, and it was their hand-me-down clothes. So I also received that as well. Outside of that, I haven't received any gifts. And then their dad also does like formula, diapers, wipes, because one of our sons is formula fed. So that was like the extent of things. Everything else I've been taken care of. So no one helps me with rent or groceries for the children, especially since they're now eating regular food. No one's helping with the lights, water, trash, sewage, none of those bills whatsoever. And again, I didn't know how to calculate that for him to contribute to, because on one hand, I felt like it would be unfair to ask him to help with that stuff, because how do I determine what percentage of electricity or water or like rent, household, like how could I calculate that in a way where it's fair? And then 2, he didn't decide on where I lived. I chose where I lived. So for me, it was just like, how could I act for that? And I don't understand how child support calculates that, so I wasn't even going to try to emulate like what child support does, because I literally have no clue. So what I was saying by my post is, I'm very proud of myself that I am able to take care of them pretty much 24/7, because let's be honest, with the boys, we moved when they were 3 months old. So at 3 months old, they weren't doing a whole lot. I am the main one, not saying they haven't learned from other people, but I am the main one who has taught them sign language, how to talk, the milestone things, bought them toys to help develop them even more, like the little swings and the walkers and stuff like that. Like nobody sent that, nobody bought that for them but me. Like nobody gave me the money for that. In my post, I was just saying I'm so proud that I was able to also do things like that and spend time with them in a way where they have developed into intelligent, happy, loving children, because that's who they are. With her coming on my post and basically causing drama, my mom came on and was like very respectful. My sister also, kind of similar to my mom, was like, there was no need for the disrespect. And so her response to my mom was, shut the F up. She didn't care whose mom my mom was. And then to my sister, she called her a derogatory name and spoke more about her than anybody else. I wasn't no angel either. After that, then I responded in a manner that wasn't my best, but not to make excuses. It wasn't my best, no buts. It wasn't my best. It was absolutely a learning lesson. She ended up calling me, basically called me a liar, called me fake, said she was going to beat my ass when she sees me. You know, just very out of pocket, out of line. And honestly, based on how she was reacting, you would have thought that I just constantly talk about her brother. Him and I have absolutely no issues. We talk every single day, mostly in line about the children, or like little small talk, how you doing, and then like it's just him talking to the kids, because they'll want them to build that relationship. Just because he's not right here in person does not mean that he can't build a bond or a relationship with the children. So they know exactly who he is, call him dad and all this other stuff. But even still with that, it doesn't take away from what I have done. And for anybody to even like fix their mouths up to say that my post was a lie, it's like they clearly sipping on some silly juice, because nothing in that post was a lie. He's not on child support because one, we talked about it and I don't think it's necessary for him to be on child support. Two, I understand that he is doing his absolute best to provide financially for the children. He does not make as much money as I make. And when we are talking, I see how hard he's working by doing various odd jobs in addition to his own 9 to 5. So the effort is there. There's no need for me to hound him down for more money. Plus, I have the expectation and the hope that in the future, when he does get to a more stable place, he has been able to kind of provide on a more equal foot. So we don't have any issues whatsoever. And honestly, I didn't know I had any issues with his family until Friday. It just goes to show that eventually everybody will show their true colors. So that was Friday. I had to go to Florida that same night. I had already planned on it because my little brother's birthday was that Saturday. So already mentally exhausted from what all went on that day. So then it was just physically exhausted because it's like a 14-hour drive. Yeah, it's been such a long day today. We're making a trip to Florida to go pick up the rest of our belongings. Currently 2:45 Central. I needed to stop because I was getting sleepy. And I was hoping I would be able to take a nap, but the children, anytime the car stops, then they're wide awake. Not sure if I'll be able to take my nap. And I really need it. Still on the road. It took me a nap because I was dozing. Y'all, it's foggy out here. Imagine what this looked like at night. It was crazy. So I was like, this is a recipe for disaster. Let me pull off. Let me go to sleep because I did that Saturday. Tried to rest up as much as I could. Celebrate my brother's birthday. Sunday, I kind of relaxed a little bit and just laid around, watched a lot of reality TV because just tired and exhausted. Then that Monday came around, which is the day I was going to leave and go back. Cleaned out my car, packed up my car with the things that I had left at my mom's. It was just enough to fit in my car, and was back on the road. And then about 2.5 hours outside of Houston in Louisiana, I hit a little torn piece of tire and it caused me to hit the embankment on the driver's side, messed up the 2 tires on the driver's side, and I was unable to drive my car anymore. So, you know, called my insurance, got it towed away to a local body shop in Louisiana, got my rental car, all this other stuff. So I thank God first and foremost because anything could have happened. Like what had happened, it could have been way worse than that. But again, spiritual warfare manifesting itself, and like it would have been easy for me to be like, God, why me? What's going on? Like, why are you doing this to me? But instead I looked at it as like, okay, this is my storm. I'm going through these storms because my rainbow is coming, my pot of gold is coming. And so I was just thankful to God, and it's really a testament to my past with God and what all I've been through with God, because I've been on this faith journey for almost 10 years now. I really took my faith journey serious in 2015, December of 2015, when I moved to Las Vegas. So if this had happened back in 2016, 2017, I don't think I would have reacted the way that I did this go around. But this go around is like, God, I know you enough to know that you won't let anything happen that will cause me harm in the long run. Might get set back, it might hurt a little bit in the moment, but I do know that it's for my greater good in the end. So that's how I looked at this. I praise God. I was worshiping, just thanking him. But this morning, woke up to the children smelling like a chemical, and I couldn't put my finger on what the chemical was, but I knew it was something that it shouldn't have been. So I go into their bathroom. The Goo-Gone, which was filled to the top, is now completely empty. I find a yellow cup in there that also smells like Goo-Gone. So I asked my daughter Kehlani, because I had it up on the counter where she's the only person who would have been able to reach it. I asked my daughter, like, hey, did you give your brothers this in a cup? And she says, yes, I was trying to see something. So I smelled their little breath, and it smells like the Goo-Gone. So automatically went into prayer for them, like, God, please cover my babies. Please, if they ingested anything, please allow it to exit their body without any harm to them whatsoever. But then also, of course, fear and worry kicked in, and guilt, because if I wouldn't have had it in their bathroom, then it wouldn't have happened, but then also fear of how much did they drink, what are the reactions, what's next. So I ended up calling poison control, and the guy basically said the taste of it is so bad that most of the time children know not to drink it. If they do take a sip, then it's so bad that they don't want any more. If they did have a large amount or even enough to really harm them, then it would induce vomiting or spit up. So if I didn't see any of that, then more than likely all is well and they didn't ingest it. They probably just, you know, got into it and then spilled the rest out all over the floor. So what a relief, because I didn't see any throw up, didn't see any vomit, no spit up, anything like that. It was an absolute relief, but again, it was like, Lord, we literally just got through this car accident. Now here it is that my babies are possibly in harm's way. So a lot of spiritual warfare, but that's how I know that, you know, this move to Houston, I heard from God with it, and God is allowing these tests to come through to test me and to see where I'm at. And I'm so thankful and grateful and hope that I am showing him that he can trust in me, that I am serious in this walk. So I'm just so grateful to see what is on the way, because I know something major and amazing is on the way with how this week has gone, and I couldn't be more blessed. I couldn't be more thankful and grateful. So that's where we're at. I told this long story to basically say that sometimes when God tells you to do something and you're obedient, sometimes your faith will get tested immediately after, or you'll start experiencing attacks that you've never experienced before. So hold on to the promise that God gave you and keep faith that God is going to make a way out of no way. Do not let it get you down. Do not allow it to cause you to start second guessing or thinking that you heard God incorrectly. It's the opposite. These moments are to show you that no, you heard correctly. You are moving by God's will and according to his plan, because think, if you weren't moving according to God, the devil wouldn't be attacking you. He would be blessing you, if anything, or trying to bless you in his realm of blessings, but his blessings do not compare to God's blessings. And I don't even really want to call it a blessing, because it's not a blessing. It's a curse in disguise. It may look good on the outside, but really there is no fruit. It's rotten. It's like candied apples. It looks so good on the outside and it's all sticky and gooey, but once you bite into that apple, sometimes that apple is rotten, because you don't know how long that candied apple been sitting up there, and the coating has covered up the fruit underneath, so you don't get to see what that fruit really looks like. And that is what the devil gives. I say all of this to say, do not be surprised when the spiritual warfare begins. Remain faithful, keep pushing through.
I hope that you all have enjoyed today's episode of the Moving to Houston series. I hope that you all will tune in next Friday for the next episode. But in the meantime, in between time, do not forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you are notified every single time I drop. So let's continue to prosper properly as his property.
Prospering property.